9 a.m. I'd like to welcome everybody to the work session of April the 7th of the Limestone County Commission. Ellen, do we have any public comment?
Yes, we do. Kelly Dye.
Ms. Dye, how are you doing this morning?
Doing all right, thank you. On August 1st, 2021, Alabama Code 45-42-260 was implemented. It states, and I am reading verbatim, A, the Limestone County Commission may divide any territory at its discretion within the county, but outside of the corporate limits of any municipality in the county into business, industrial, and residential zones or districts, including, but not limited to, zones or districts where blasting may be carried out, and the terms and conditions under which blasting may be carried out, and may provide the kind, character, and use of structures and improvements that may be erected or made within the several zones or districts established, and, from time to time, may rearrange or alter the boundaries of the zones or districts, and may also adopt ordinances as necessary to carry into effect and make effective this section, provided, however, agricultural and forest property assessed for ad valorem tax purposes at current use value as defined in section 4072.1 shall be zoned as agriculture and forest property. B, any zoning ordinance adopted pursuant to this section may be enforced by the county commission by an action for injunctive relief in the circuit court of Limestone County. Then, again, in April of 2024, a local bill brought forth by Representative Parker Moore, Republican District 4, was killed in a meeting that day by the Limestone County Standing Committee before making it to the House floor. The bill would restrict any blasting sites from within 2 miles of any building, structure, or portion thereof designated as a historical building and site, which would block a controversial rock quarry in the Belmina community, as well as protect more than 30 historical sites throughout Limestone County. Through this information, it shows to me that you did not only have once, but twice that you could have put protections in place to protect the everyday citizens of the Limestone County, in this particular case, Athens, Tanner, and Belmina. From where I'm standing, it looks like you are going to continue supporting corporations, especially industrial corporations that try to infiltrate and consume lands that everyday citizens are living. Why?
Anything else, Ms. Dye?
I'm waiting for a response. We can wait until my 3 minutes are up.
Ms. Dye, this is not the appropriate forum in the public comment section for question answer.
I have sent several emails and never received any response to that either. Your silence is very telling and very discouraging, and it's scary for the citizens of Limestone County, and I really do hope that they hear that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Justin Dye.
Mr. Dye?
Thanks for the time, y'all. A few years back, we lost my daddy to cancer, and that's not so unusual. Around 600,000 die from cancer in 2024. Oddly enough, more men die from cancer than women, and that's partly due to early detection. Apparently, men don't get checked up as early as they should. And this could be due to the fact that the cancers that impact man, prostate and colorectal, only have really one method of detection. And if you've been in for a prostate exam, you know what I'm talking about. Now, early detection and lifestyle changes are among the strongest defense against cancer becoming terminal. Cancer is awful, but there's a lot of money to be made on it. On average, oncologists make about $300 to $600K, and they're the top 25% of earners on physicians. Oncology generally is around a $500 billion business by 2030. A lot of money to be made there. A few years back, Athens City de-annexed some residential property into Limestone County. That property was converted into an asphalt plant that impacted neighboring homes. Nothing anyone could do about it since there was no law on the books. Limestone County had no noise ordinance, no vibe limits, no protection for wide or tall loads on the roads. That tumor has grown and grown, and that facility now has a washout pit, a transfer yard, riprap ramps, and what appears to be a huge shop. Homeowners pay for this, of course. Home values have dropped about 40% in the last several years. Residents deal with vibration, dust, noise, and air pollution. Trucks roll in and out of that place every day, even when the plant's not running. Transfer pumps kick on about 5:30 every morning, and while those drivers are doing pre-check, they idle, dumping exhaust for hundreds of yards. Limestone County had an opportunity to implement some preventive medicine after that asphalt plant went in. They could have implemented some protection for normal citizens, noise and vibe at least, and instead the county, most of y'all, really didn't do anything about it. Now here we are again with Belmina. That same cancer, same company, getting rich on the back of normal citizens. You could have at least proposed some preventive measurement, you still could. And I wonder about the motivation of it all. The asphalt plant was an early warning, that first bad PSA test. Instead of changing lifestyle, you did nothing, and that cancer has spread. And as with cancer, there are those that suffer and those that get paid for the suffering. Which side are you on? It's okay if you're on the side for getting money, but let's be transparent about it. In conclusion, that preventive medicine is important. That first tumor should drive changes in behavior. I got to ask here, maybe the next time I go in for that prostate colorectal exam, you have that doctor look for your head. Thank you.
Chad Easterling.
Morning, thanks for the time. I own the property on New Cut Road that abuts up to the new subdivisions going on Thompson Road. And I was just trying to get some more information. I know they're wanting to split the property, but I was trying to figure out what their plans are for that property with the existing home and the new lot that they're trying to build.
I'll be happy to meet with you in between the meetings, and I'll show you the plat and show you everything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Laura Lynn Kerner.
Well, Ms. Carter, how you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm getting to be a regular fixture.
Oh, that's all right.
So everybody knows why I'm here, almost everybody. I'm about the poos at the Wellness Center. It has been 2 years since the poos were permanently closed at the Wellness Center on March the 30th, 2023. 3.5 months later, on July the 12th, 2023, Dr. Turner and I were able to communicate and get a commitment from Jeff Sams, CEO of Huntsville Hospitals, to give the pools to the county. And in that meeting was their chief legal counsel, Joe Campbell, Tracy Collins, VP of Public Relations, the Director of Building and Maintenance, and another attorney. So we had a formidable foe that we had to convince to give the Wellness Center or give the poos back to the county. Mr. Campbell directed Sams to give the poos back to the county, and he asked that we be in attendance at the meeting. 1.5 months later, on August the 31st, 2023, Mr. Sams, Tracy Collins, met with Colin Daly with Dr. Turner in attendance. Colin brilliantly asked for the Wellness Center in its entirety. They said they would give it to him. We didn't see any action for 3 months. So we asked Colin for a meeting. No, December the 1st, we got a meeting, which was 1.5 months later. And at that meeting, Colin asked us to give a strategic plan for you, the commissioners, to look at so we would know what and how to proceed in taking over the poos. So in 5 months, we were able to secure a commitment from Huntsville Hospital to give Athens and Limestone County the poos back. And at that meeting, Colin got the whole entire Wellness Center. But it's been 1 year and 7 months since that time, and we have not seen any action taken. Without the pools, 47, and some of you have had this, but this was the first thing that I ever did and gave to everybody. You don't have one, Mr. Turner. And there were 51 people in this that told their stories about why they needed the poo. To date, 47 of those 51 people cannot exercise because of the inaction of this commission. There are indoor facilities in Giles County, Lincoln County, Madison County, and Decatur is building a Olympic-sized competitive 10-lane indoor pool. And we want to know why this county can't have an indoor pool. And I have some questions on here, which I'm handing to you all that you can't answer me today. But they are about, have you seen the plan? I know you get money. You get 1.5 million from TVA. You got 4.8 million from a hospital tax. Colin has always said that money was not an issue. We want to know what the issue is, because Dr. Turner and I agreed that we would help Colin bring the pool on and see it till it was sustainable.
Thank you, Ms. Kerner. Thank you, Ms. Kerner.
Deanna Babb.
Deanna? Are you this morning?
Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. I'm also here about the Wellness Center. I currently teach water aerobics over in Madison. It's a long drive from where I live out on Hickory Hills. But anyway, Athens is currently one of the fastest growing cities in Alabama. Obviously, with that will come people that will need help physically, mentally, medically, and even emotionally. I am proposing an indoor pool to meet those needs and to fill the many voids that are apparent in Athens. The void, due to the lack of healthy entertainment for our growing youth community, the void of a convenient place for a swim team to practice, the void due to the lack of vitally needed early childhood swim lessons, the void for a place for those with mobility issues to move freely, the void for a place for doctors to send patients for rehabilitation, the void for a place to relieve stress for those who have no other physical outlet, the void for a place to teach water aerobics, a scientifically proven, excellent way to improve one's health without injury. The future void will be a place where all current runners, pickleball players, soccer ball players, football players, basketball players, tennis players, volleyball players, the out of shape, will most likely wish for when they are much older. I know this subject has been discussed ad nauseum. I know there were hard feelings at the last round of discussions when the wellness pool was closed several years ago. I know because I was part of that contingent of supporters. All that being said, is there not room to open the doors to a pool in Athens? Perhaps a grant, donation, bond drives, I haven't a clue. I just know there is a need. I believe a new facility with proper management could be a huge success and make a difference for hundreds of our community. There has to be a way to make this happen. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "Never take no for an answer until you can talk to the person who can say yes." If it is not this board of council members, then please tell me who it is.
Beth Edwards.
How you doing this morning, Mr. Edwards? Doing great.
Well, I don't have a big piece of paper because this came to me this morning, and it is very important. One of the problems post-pandemic has been isolation, and one of the things that have always been present is the isolation of senior citizens and the fact that they need groups or outlets where they can meet other people. And this water aerobics class has been one of those outlets. There was a group of people, yes, we exercised, which is something that is very needed. And it wasn't just senior citizens. There were across really all ages. But afterwards, you would see people meeting and talking, and we were also a social group. So we were each other's support so that there wasn't the isolation. That and the pool, when they closed it, they said it was underutilized. And yes, it was. But it was the senior citizens that really needed it. But it also was the fact that there was many other things that could have been done there. Swimming lessons, swim teams, open swim, just general recreation. And it also, like was mentioned before, runners. I'm very familiar with the running community because my husband was a runner and so was I, and I'm now a very active volunteer. Here's the thing. If a runner can't run because of an injury, what are they told by the doctor? They're told, get in the water, swim. That's a good alternative exercise that's not weight-bearing. So there are a lot of things that could be done with this pool were it properly utilized. But we need a pool in Limestone County. There are no indoor pools. And so it's really needed for people like me that live in the northwest the corner of the county. We really need a place where we can go that's not Madison or Huntsville or Pulaski. It's a long ways to go to those places, and especially if you're older and you can't drive that far. But the same thing with, you've got a mom who's got to get the kid to the soccer game and another one to the baseball game and another one for swim practice that's in Decatur or in Huntsville. Something's needed right here, and I appreciate you listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
No further comments.
Thank everybody for their comments today. The reason we have such a large crowd is today, this is, we're doing a proclamation for telecommunicators. We've got a ton of telecommunicators in this room and a lot of people that's on boards of like 911 and places like that are first line of defense. Us as a commission, we're going to get up and we're going to do a proclamation right quick. They've got a ceremony at 9:30. They're giving away proclamations to City Hall. Isn't that right, Big A? So I know they got to get out of here. But we want to thank them for all they do and all their service. All y'all commission want to get up here and do this with me? Yep. All right, everybody. Who all's telecommunicators in the room? Lord, y'all got a crowd of them, don't you? Y'all want to come on down?
Colin, make sure there's nobody outside. There was some.
Came to look 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Did they leave?
I guess they left. Come on down. Y'all telecommunicator folks, right?
No, you just sit right there. You're perfect.
Come on, Terry, where you at?
Brandon.
Brandon?
Here I go.
Get over here, Casey.
Come on, y'all act like you like each other. Squeeze in.
We have we'll get everybody a copy of this. We just done one today. We knew all was coming today. And we'll get all y'all copies here back in the office. But Jerry, we're going to get you quiet over here now. But now we want to thank everybody for all you do for telecommunicators, because people don't realize that when an accident happens, y'all are the first people talk to. And that is crucial, vital. I mean, it's it's never, my son was, most people know I lost a son in a car accident a few years ago, and my daughter-in-law said that was the thing that kept her sane was her being on the phone with a person from 911 when all this happened. And, she was sitting there, and, she was sitting on the side of the road with him, and she waited over 39 minutes for an ambulance to get there, and that person stayed on the phone for those 39 minutes. And, and people don't realize that, she's sitting on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, not a house within 2 miles, and she's sitting there with him on the side of the road, laying there lifeless, and which he did succumb from it. But, so the telecommunications hold a special place in my heart for what they've done for my family. I know my dad worked at the sheriff's office for all those years, and the telecommunicators were also my babysitters growing up. They were always kept me in line and all. So, they're a great bunch of people, and I know they're not thanked enough for all they do, but they are our #1 line of defense. I think the sheriff and everybody will agree with that, because the Chief Big A, they defuse a ton of situations before it happens. And I know they got somewhere else to be, but we do this every year. But every day is really Telecommunicators Day. So I want to thank y'all for all you do, and so we will proclaim this Telecommunicators Month, and we go from here, and thank y'all for all you do. And, everybody got a picture here, we'll get a picture, and I know y'all gotta get on this. I know that the mayor and everybody's still there waiting on y'all to get there, so we don't wanna hold y'all up and being awarded for what y'all do. Y'all got us pictured up? Thank y'all, and we will all I'll send this one over to the sheriff's office for y'all, and y'all are our employees, and then we'll get everybody else a copy. Thank y'all, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Appreciate your brother. Keep your brother. Thank you. Thank y'all. Where did I lay my glasses at?
Those not yours?
I got them right here. If I don't have my glasses, I won't be able to see.
I ain't got but one pair and we can't share them.
Can't share them today?
I guess we can though.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'll see you in a little while. We'll get back to business now, but like I said, I can't thank those group of people enough for all they do. People don't realize all they do. So it's probably one of the most vital jobs that we have as far as when somebody calls an emergency. All right, moving forward. March the 17th minutes, we'll have those on the meeting. Does anybody got any discussion with that? All right, claims in the amount of $2,447,139.58. Anybody got any issue with any claim? Anybody got any conflicts of interest, anything to do? Public hearings, anybody got any today? None today. Resolutions and orders. We'll approve a resolution to change the work session and commission meeting from Monday, May the 5th to Friday, May the 2nd. Anybody got any issues with that? But our first meeting in May will be on Friday instead of Monday. That was all right. No issues with that. We'll move forward. Contracts, agreements, MOUs, and grants will be to approve a senior community service employment program and a host agency agreement for fiscal year 24. This is no cost to the county for participation in this program. This is the program that TARCOG puts out where they employ people. And they're going to have a lady that I think worked down at the animal shelter that's already been volunteering. So TARCOG has that program. I know we've done it out in the districts over the years with Litter Patrol and people like that. And we also do it now with the some of the Meals on, the senior center stuff and things. So that's just improving that. All right. Number 2 will be to approve Department of Examiners of Public Accounts for an audit for federal assistance. Anybody got any issues with that? Number 3 will be to approve a contract with TARCOG to maintain the existing SHIP program. This is state health insurance program. Anybody got any issue with that? All right. Number 4 will be to approve awarding of a FY24 COPS and Technology and Equipment Grant in the amount of $425,000. Anybody got any issue with that? Number 5 will be to approve a cooperative agreement with TVA reducing the amount of litter and illegal trash dumping at a specific site on Wheeler Reservoir. Anybody got an issue with that? Number 6 will be to approve a jail additional contract changes orders authorizing the chairman up to $10,000 per change order up to, this will be to the, so anyways, what this is, we've had a couple of things where, they ran into some unforeseen things, and they have to wait for us to get to the commission meeting before they can change it. So with y'all's approval, that way I can make, the contract we're doing, the jail expansion, that way I can change up to $10,000 on the change order. We have $100,000 set aside for change orders, so that can be changed without y'all, it had to, because like last time, we was 3 weeks between meeting, and, it was, you had to wait till you go through the meeting, and, they can't do anything, so they just sit there. Not with that project, they can do things, but not with that. So that's just allowing me to change up to $10,000 if we have something come up. And I'll keep y'all informed if we do, so. Number 7 will be to approve an agreement. Anybody else have any discussion with that? Nobody have any issue with that? Number 7 will be to approve an agreement with Morrell Engineering for materials testing for the jail project in the amount of $4,635. This was from earlier. We had talked about doing some testing on some of the material, the concrete and things like that. So Morel is going to do some testing on that at the jail while we're doing the work. All right, and number 8 will be to approve an allowance authorizing for the jail additional in the amount of $10,163.13, and this is for the power of exhaust fans and stuff like that. This one here I would have had to come in front of y'all because it was over $10,000 anyway. So, if y'all got any issue with it, and as far as I know, everything's going well at the jail, and everything keeping us updated good, so everything's going right along. All right, no existing with that. Budget revisions, we have 3 budget revisions listed below. Anybody got issue with any budget revision? All right, emergency purchases, we have none. Board appointments, we have none. Award of bids and quotes, we have none. Personnel action, we've been taking this all up in one action. Anybody have any, we'll go through it, but if anybody has no issue, we'll just take them all up in one action today to make it faster. All right, will be to approve to promote Dusty Balcom from Corrections Officer to Corrections Corporal, and approve to transfer Kenneth Andrews from Sheriff Sergeant to Patrol to Sheriff Sergeant to assigned to investigations. Approved to place Tracy Long on medical unpaid leave, and this will be retroactive back to the 2nd of April. Approved to hire Monica Hodges as a senior aide for council agent pending a drug screening, and her dates to be announced. To approve to hire Julie McCurry as a help desk effective April the 8th. Approved to promote Suzanne Duggar from help desk to tag and title clerk effective April 7th. Approved to promote Molly Peck Hamilton from tag and title clerk to senior tag and title clerk, and that's also effective the 7th. And approved to promote Jennifer Withers from revenue clerk to revenue appraisal trainee, and then last would be to approve to hire Nathan Head as equipment operator in District 3 pending a drug screening, and he'll be starting effective April the 15th. Anybody got any issue or taking anything up in one motion? Everybody's good? All right. Moving forward, merit increases, we have several listed below. Anybody got any issue with a merit increase? All right. So then the engineer's report, Mr. Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got 3 subdivisions for you guys' consideration today. Copperfield subdivision, 6th edition. This is a re-subdivision of lot 236. This is a minor for preliminary and final affecting 2 lots in District 2. Beauchamp Branch subdivision, minor for preliminary and final, creating 2 lots in District 4. And then the Justin Landers subdivision, this is a minor for preliminary and final, creating 2 lots in District 1. And I'll meet with the gentleman that made comment in between, and I'll report back to you in the meeting if there's anything that we need to discuss. Okay. And then beyond, if you don't have any questions on that, we also annually we try to approve a construction schedule just so that we've got a budget for everything, and we've got kind of an order of how we're going to do the work. So that's presented in front of you. So if do y'all have any questions, comments, concerns about that? If not, then we'll present that to you for approval in the business session as well. So, as a way to update, we've got about 2 to 3 more days of spraying for our spraying. So, weather permitting, we'll be able to get that finished in 2 to 3 days. So, hopefully, we'll get enough good weather this week that we can finish that up, and we'll have the entire county completed on that. We'll start preparing for the next round of spraying here in a month or so. But paving, we're finishing up some patching and everything, and then probably in about the end of next week, weather permitting, of course, we'll be ready to get started on our list between Rebuild Alabama and this one. So we've got a couple of weeks.
Okay. Anybody got anything else to think for Mark? Thank you, Mark.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, Mark, on our schedule on our roads that we'll be paving, in the past seemed like, we get the north end ready, and when the paving crew comes up there, they work on the south end. we hadn't got the south end ready. So I'd like to see a little bit better communication, I guess, between our scheduling.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'll get with you on it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Like I said, that's kind of the point of organizing this. This is the order we're planning on doing the work.
This is the
This
order
is
that
the
we're
order
gonna
that we
do.
plan on doing the work, unless you say, hey, we need to make a change, we've run into an issue, whatever. But this is the order, so I mean.
If it's in stone, I'll
Yeah, so
take it.
if you're foreman,
Okay.
have any questions, anything, I mean, like I said, this is the order we're planning on doing
All
it.
right. That's all I need to hear.
So yeah, like I said, it
Okay.
can be adjusted if y'all run into any issues, but.
That's the problem. It's been adjusted over the past.
Well,
But
like
no, I hope you understand where I'm coming from, because it takes a while to get these roads ready sometime.
Yeah, I understand.
And when you got them ready, and then they come up there and they say, well, we're down here.
Well, we typically don't just do that, but,
Yeah.
but like I said, we do try to follow this, like I said, and let's.
There's no problem at all, as long
But
as.
we'll, but yeah,
Work
that'll be
together.
fine. I'll have our foreman, superintendent, I'll have him reach out a couple weeks in advance if that makes it easier, just to say,
that'll
hey, we just want you to know that this is where we're coming first. Y'all ready? Do you see any issues? Just have that conversation in advance.
Okay. All right, good deal. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, thanks. Derek, we're coming to you first. You be ready. You on the first one on the list. Okay. All right.
We'll probably be working on the Rebuild Alabama. We've got some patching that needs to be done before the contractor moves in. We'll probably take care of that patching prior to actually getting on this list. So we're still several weeks out from actually getting on this list, but we do have the Rebuild Alabama plan that we've got some patching that's got to be done. That way we're not holding the contractor up.
Thank you, sir. All right, other business, approved to sell on Gov Deals 2011 Dodge Nitros. Anybody got any issue with that? All right. And the next thing would be to remove the following items from inventory. And anybody got any issue with either one of those? And with that being said, we will take us a 15-minute. Yes, sir.
I've got a couple, if you give me 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yeah, we got. Yeah.
So, I'm going to take a couple minutes just to recap where we do now, situation we got, and some questions I've got for us as commissioners that I think we need to examine. We're one of probably 3 counties in the state that open graves and bury livestock on farms out in the community. Most circumstances, that'd be a violation of state law because it provides an item of value to an individual. But we do it because decades ago there was local legislation passed that enabled us to do that. Didn't require us to do it, but it gave us permission to do it and exempt us from state law that would otherwise prevent us from doing this. Another law that exists that our attorney has found requires us to charge $50 if we open a grave. There's no limitation on any way up or down on livestock, and currently we're doing that for free. Am I correct on that law, Mr. Deal?
Yes, Commissioner Turner.
So, until a few weeks ago, we didn't have any waiver of liability on this when we did it. If the county went out in the graveyard and we opened a grave for someone, or we went out on a farm and we accidentally caused injury to another grave, to the farmer's fence, or anything else property, we were entirely liable for that as a county for service that we're doing for an individual. We passed at the last commission meeting, or commission meeting before last, that we would implement starting April 1st, that we would have to have a waiver before we did that, and at that point in time. We've had some confusion on getting that process in place. Hopefully that's going to be resolved. I have heard rumor mill that some of the commissioners, at least one commissioner, had said that we probably wouldn't ever actually enforce that. As far as District 2 is concerned, we're going to follow the procedure as we passed, and I would encourage each of you to do it, because if we fail to follow our own policy, then we may incur personal liability for damage that's occurred, because we're no longer offering under the authority of our county commission and the rules that we put. So I would highly suggest none of you do that without that. You may think that's not a big issue. And how much money could it cost and what do we do? Well, in 2023, we buried 336 animals out on farms. And in 2024, we buried 284. In 2023, we opened 272 graves, and in 2024, we did 324. We're averaging over one a day that we're sending crews out to either open graves or bury farm animals. FEMA gives us a figure of dollars of how much we can use in disaster things, of what to charge for use of equipment and manpower. It looks like it's approximately $200 an hour for the equipment we would use, and that type and the manpower would do it. Mark, do you concur? Is that close to correct?
That you're saying per hour?
Per hour, 200.
Yes, yeah, that'd be close.
For equipment and labor, approximately $200 cost for
Yes,
that.
sir.
On the paperwork we keep up with and turn in, we estimate that we do 2 hours on this job. I would submit that's not possible. By the time we load up a piece of equipment, we go to the part out in the county, and we actually do the work, come back and deliver the equipment back. I don't think we can do it in 2 hours. But let's just say it takes us an hour and a half to do that job, and that's all we're doing. If that's the case, in the last 2 years, we have spent $364,000 as a commission burying farm animals and opening graves that private contractors could do. It's my understanding from our format that we do so that we are reimbursed out of the general fund to the districts $30 for each one of these that we do. Any remaining cost comes out of our budget on there, which is road and bridge money. Now, I'm unable to find any provision that we have that allows us to spend road and bridge money on doing this type of projects. If it exists, I'd like to see it, and if we can't find it, I suggest we get an opinion for the Attorney General to make sure that we're actually not in violation of state law. So with that as a background, it leaves us some questions I think we ought to, as a commission, examine and look at and decide what we need to do. One, should we be in this business at all when there are private contractors who could do this work? Why are we pulling workers off road projects to go out and open graves and bury farm animals? If I've got guys out fixing potholes in neighborhoods and they have to leave that job to go bury a cow on somebody's farm, I don't think that's a good use of our time or our money. But if we're going to do it, maybe we should come up with a department that is funded from the general fund and pays for that projects and do it with employees designated for that instead of pulling folks off the road projects and do there. And if we're going to do it, maybe we ought to be charging a realistic figure for the cost that's incurred on this instead of doing it for free. I wouldn't expect any of us to go out to a business office for any other business and haul off junk off their place and do waste products of their business. Why are we doing it for farmers that we're going out and taking care of a dead animal on their project when it's something we would not do for any other business? And maybe we go back, we ought to seriously consider whether or not that's something we should be doing as a county or whether we should allow the private sector to provide those services and we stick to jobs that the government does best and private industry can't provide. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else got anything else on that?
Mr. Chairman, if I'm not mistaken, we got a Attorney General's opinion several years ago, didn't we, Mark?
We talked about doing that, but I don't think one ever got
We
prepared.
never did go with.
It was a discussion.
I thought we did, but
I don't think
anyway,
that there was ever one submitted.
Yeah, I'd be all for getting an attorney's opinion on it. I mean, legislators put it on us. Let them take it off of us. I mean, there's a lot of road work in what, $400,000.
And
Sure is.
And it's growing every year.
It is.
Every year we're doing more than we were the year before.
Mark, do you know how long that we've been doing this, providing this service?
I do not.
Does anybody have a date on that?
It's much longer than I've been.
The law goes
in the
back
70s.
several decades. That's
We've
correct.
been doing this for that many years.
Yeah, it does, and I don't know I don't know if there's some kind of law saying that you have, I'd heard after so many hours an animal dies, that you're supposed to dispose of it, or I don't know. I don't know if there's anything to that or not, but.
And my question is, if Miss Smith calls us and says she's got a dead hen, at what authority do we have to tell her we're not going to bury her hen? Because it says livestock, and I mean,
I understand.
Well, I understand exactly what you're saying. My only concern in the District 4 area is, we have a lot of livestock. I'm more of the agricultural side, and we have a lot of people that, lose animals, and we start leaving those animals laying around. We also have a lot of people still on wells and springs out there.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a lot of things that's running off into the natural water source. So that's one of my biggest concerns right there.
Sure.
I mean, I don't want to be contaminating water sources, people. So,
and you can make an argument for it's a public welfare issue that we're looking for that, but if we are doing it, and I'm not saying we should get out of it, but if we are doing it, it ought to be coming out of the general fund, not road money.
Yeah.
And maybe we ought to look at a department like our maintenance department that handles that instead of pulling folks off the road projects to go do this.
I thought that did come out of general funds.
We're reimbursed $30. The rest of it comes out of your budget.
but it's 2 hours, so it's $60.
$60? Okay, I'm sorry.
2 hours.
It's 2 hours, $60 what it is.
Yeah. But in most counties, if they do it, they charge several $100s to do this. And we could make exceptions for the Coleman County had a few years ago where they had a lightning strike that killed 30 animals at one time. And at that point in time, there was while they don't normally do that, there was assistance in that because of the disaster that the guy had 30 animals all at one time. He needed help. I can understand that too. But we shouldn't be pulling up on a farmer's place who has a backhoe on his farm already and doing work for him, that he's just calling us because we'll do it for free and he doesn't have to use his equipment to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have that instance in my district. I don't. I've got several farmers that never call us.
Oh, I know. I can probably, out of the ones we do, we probably have 10 people who do the vast majority of these things, and we're providing those people with a service that doesn't benefit the county as a whole, other than the fact you said protects the waterways. And if we charged them $400 to go out and do it, that might be an issue. They might look at another source to doing it, but we're not required to do this. We've taken it upon ourselves to do it and do it for free.
Well, in my opinion, it's like a lot of other laws on the books. There's 2 laws there, and one of them says the county commission may or may not charge. And then the other law says they must charge $50. It's sort of like any other law. I mean, if you read one of these laws, it's something else has to happen for this law to work. So, I mean, I'm still unclear. I mean, I want to know which law we're supposed to follow.
But there is no, on the farm animals at least, there is no limit. We can charge a realistic figure for doing farm animals, do it. I mean, yes, we've got legislation that says $50 is what we have to charge for grave digs but it.
$50 is a constitutional thing. Right?
Yes, sir.
No.
That's a state statute.
State statute. And the other one is a state law that was passed. I mean, amendment.
Constitutional amendment.
Constitutional amendment. There you go.
So
trying to get my words right.
I'll leave it at that. I'd like to see us take it up at a future meeting and see if we can clarify this and work for it. But I think right now our current system benefits a few people at the detriment of the majority and takes money out of funds that shouldn't be spent for. But I have a real question whether or not we're following the law on using Triple R money. So.
Fair enough.
Good point.
That's it.
Good deal. Anybody got anything else? All right. So now we will recess for, it's 9:44. We'll just say that, as Mark had talked to the gentleman, we'll be back here at 10 o'clock. Thank you, everybody.